Hey friends, this unfortunately is a video that we hoped we would never have to make, but unfortunately a couple weeks ago our third son was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder, and we have been working on trying to figure out what that means and everything that it will do to affect our lives. And we spent the last 7 to 9 months, we started in November, trying to figure out what this was. And it turns out that after all of our digging and going through specialists and meeting with doctors and spending lots and lots of money, we finally have an answer, and that is our third son was diagnosed with a disorder known as Syngap1.
Yeah, it's not a nice diagnosis to have.
Yeah.
It's not the worst diagnosis you could have,
Yeah.
but it is a challenging one for our family.
Yeah. So before we get into all of the details of what it means and what our lives are going to look like, I want to kind of announce the reason for even making this video, which is on the 21st of June, which is in 2 weeks from the time this video is going live. We're going to be doing a 24-hour charity live stream to raise money for a foundation related to Syngap that actually raises money for medical research and making sure that we can potentially have answers and maybe eventually have some sort of genetic treatment for his disorder. But for the most part, we really just want to make sure that we are helping to fund a nonprofit that's actually working to help people with diseases like our son has.
So Syngap1 is a point mutation that causes people who have it to only make half or so of the Syngap protein that you need for normal development. So people who have Syngap syndrome have epilepsy usually. They might have intellectual disability. 50% of people have autism. And there's just a bunch of stuff related to your brain health that just isn't quite right.
There's global delays in development.
Yeah.
There's also speech issues, physical walking issues.
Yeah. Like with our son, we saw probably around like 7 or 8, 9 months that he wasn't on the same developmental path as our other boys, but then by a year we were really pretty sure that something was off with his health because of the delays that he was experiencing. So for us, we feel like it's really important to support this community because there's only about 300 people diagnosed with Syngap, because you can only do it through genetic testing, but probably there's 1 million people worldwide who have it. And we want to do everything that we can to support families who know that this is the challenge that they're facing, but then also to support the potential for people worldwide to be able to be diagnosed if they're experiencing similar symptoms.
Yeah, so there's only 300 cases diagnosed worldwide. The first one was only diagnosed in 2009, and our son is probably the first one in South Africa who has this diagnosis. So it is a very rare genetic disorder, and more than likely it's not due to my wife or I having something wrong in our chromosomes, but rather it was just a random mutation that happened and caused his proteins to not be produced in an appropriate amount. Sorry friends, Future Brett here. As I was editing this video, I realized that we just kind of completely skipped over a part of the story, which was one of the main reasons why we were concerned for our son and really have been struggling for the past 9 months trying to get a diagnosis, is that he was having up to several hundred seizures per day triggered by multitude of different things. And that was a big indicator as to there was something definitely wrong with him. And even with Syngap, there's actually been discoveries of brand new types of seizures, including, but not limited to, seizures that are induced by people eating. So like when our son eats his morning breakfast, he can have seizures triggered by the fact that, you know, he's eating whatever we're giving him. So that was a huge cause for concern, and obviously we desperately want to treat that portion of the disorder, but at the same time there's mixed research coming out about certain effectiveness of, let's say, CBD oil or even the keto diet when it comes to actually treating epilepsy with regards to Syngap. But we are talking with as many specialists as we can. We are speaking with dietitians. We're trying to make the best informed decision as possible. And fortunately, if we do want to go with CBD oil, because I know a lot of you have commented in previous videos about that being a treatment for seizures, it is legal here in South Africa. We just are looking into the actual feasibility of that being a treatment for epilepsy that's part of Syngap. So it's a complicated thing, but really the drop seizures, his ability to just fall over at a moment's notice was ultimately the biggest concerning factor and the hardest thing that we've had to deal with trying to figure out what actually is wrong with him. So that's what I've been dealing with behind the scenes for the past 9 months, on top of the fact that we've also been foster parents here in South Africa. We've been continuing to do our church work, and then obviously I've been running the YouTube channel. And it's been a lot. It's been a struggle to kind of maintain everything, but I primarily just want to say thank you to everybody who's watched our videos, because we wouldn't even have had the money to go through all of the testing that we needed to in order to get this diagnosis if the channel wasn't as successful as it was. And it's really made a big difference. And fortunately with Syngap, there's no other diseases that we have to worry about, no organ failure. So it looks like our costs as far as like doctors is done, and now it's more well, there's some like special training we can get.
Treatment is going to cost something, but
Yeah.
we're no longer doing all of these crazy invasive tests,
Yeah, so
trying
like,
to figure out what's going on.
There's special resource centers that we can go to in the States, and obviously it'll cost us money to fly from here to there, but for the most part, like, we're not really looking to ask for anything from you guys for us. You guys have done more than enough as it is, and we really just want to support a foundation that actually is looking to help the families who maybe don't even have the resources that we do, or the support group that we have. And we really want to make sure that with our son's diagnosis, we're trying to turn it into something that's positive for the community. And we really, like, you guys have done such an amazing job on all of the other charity streams that we've done, that we feel like we can ask you to help out, because you guys have just given above and beyond everything that's I could have even expected. Back in January, we raised $10,000, and that was something that I just never dreamed of.
So we'll ask for your help with the charity stream coming up on the 21st of June again. We have a great organization picked out that we feel is not only working medically to help families by supporting gene research and different therapies, but also just making knowledge very practical and accessible to people. They make sure that neurologists and other specialists actually know about Syngap, because sometimes they've never seen it before, and that there are treatment guidelines for patients, as well as forums from other parents, so that we can share our experiences and help each other through this as well.
Yeah, so that's the announcement. At this point, we are going to be raising him because he's a happy, healthy, lovely little boy, and we're glad to be his parents. It's just a different journey that we have to be on with him than we were with our other two sons. But we're excited to undertake this, and I think the main thing that I wanted to communicate with this video is that like, this YouTube channel has really allowed us to make sure that our son's okay. And as lighthearted and dumb as I can be in all of our other videos, the real life implication of you guys watching has been tremendous, and we really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the 24-hour charity stream. I think we can make a real difference. And I'm looking forward to the future for our family, for this channel, and for what we're going to be doing here in South Africa. It's been a tough 9 months, so thank you. 21st, mark your calendars, 24-hour charity stream. I went bald last time. I should probably up the stakes.
I think so.
We'll figure that out, okay? So we'll be mentioning it in future videos, obviously. I don't know. I have no good place to end this. Crap. I thought I had like all of this planned out in my brain, and then when I come to film, it's gone. Okay, we'll end the video there. Thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related videos. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. This is my wife, Sydney. You've just been filled in, and we'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Love you too. I'm supposed to say that.
Love you too.
There we go. That's our tagline. Bye.